Take Three Wrestling Podcast coming to you on September 8th, 2022. I'm your host, Ernest EJ Christian, alongside Mikey B, uh, producer Jim, and we'll have Joe Lopez in a little bit, hopefully. He's on the side somewhere. Fellas, what's up?
Yo, yo.
Football's back.
Oh, dude, it's the greatest fucking day. It's
Buffalo
the greatest day.
I'll tell you
Buffalo
what's
gonna
up.
be up. What's up? What's up?
My fantasy point total after that Cooper Cup catch there.
Another one?
Two girls, one Cooper Cup.
That's right.
Dude.
By the way, the highlight of the show, man. If you listen to the show in the audio, man, you gotta hear, you gotta see the video because the taglines that we have here, it's ever changing. It's pretty creative and stuff.
I'm going against Cooper Cup. I got Josh Allen, but in that league, I'm going against Cooper Cup.
Mikey B goes, AEW suspensions 1 day since last fuck up. Oh, we'll get into AEW in this show in a little bit. We got a lot to talk about today, especially.
He ain't lying.
With actually debuting a new game called Heel or Face. That's my topic. CM Punk and AEW. We're gonna discuss his legacy and everything in general. And we'll grade year one of NXT 2.0. This week is the first year since they changed the bioluminescent brand, as you might call it all the time.
Oh, NXT paintball?
Yeah. But first, I think we'll lead off with Jim's topic here.
Yeah, probably. I think it probably seems the best way to attack it. Obviously, this past weekend was very wrestle heavy. 3 big shows, 2 premium live events, 1 pay-per-view. I didn't actually do the math, but I feel like the total time, including the buy-in for the pay-per-view, probably eclipsed both premium live events time-wise. But I don't know. I didn't do the actual math on it. It was too close though. But obviously Clash of the Castle was on Saturday afternoon. NXT Worlds Collide was Sunday afternoon. AEW All Out was Sunday night. So really, instead of going through all of these cards, because dear God,
We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that shit.
I've been podcasting for 3 hours and this show just started. So I don't
fuck
need
all that noise, brother.
I don't need all of that smoke in my life. But let's do this. I every Monday, Dan Patrick, my number one sports talk radio host of all time, does a best and worst of the weekend. So guess what, folks? We're stealing that from the Dan Patrick Show, the best and worst of the weekend. I will go to you, Mikey B, for the best of the weekend. We'll start with you first. What was your best of the weekend that was? And let's do it the way we do it on 3 count. If somebody takes one, it's like draft rules. You're not allowed to repeat.
Darn.
So I'll go the other way for the worst. So you have the equal opportunities. But Mikey, we'll start with you for the best.
Best thing of the weekend. I'm gonna fucking give it to him. They pulled the trigger and they kept Mandy Rose as the double champ on NXT paintball.
That was a surprise, man. A pleasant surprise. I thought for sure this was going to be the beginning of the NXT exit, but I said on 3 count that I thought this may have been Mandy's best work to date.
Yeah.
She just continues to improve.
Could that translate? I've been following her. I hear what she's doing down there at NXT. Can that translate to her on the main roster again?
Oh, I think so.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. She's had really good matches with average to above average dance partners. She's going to go up there and have matches with good to great dance partners. So it's just going to get better. A lot of Mandy's problem, her first run in the main roster, is Mandy wasn't ready to be an in-ring performer.
Yeah, and I said that the minute she got called up. It's the Dana Brooke theory.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Dana Brooke should have never been called up when she was. She's finally improving, but she should have been back in NXT too. But yeah, I think especially with Toxic Attraction, if you bring that up as a group, we're seeing the formation of some groups, female and groups on the main roster. I think there's no reason to believe that Toxic Attraction and Mandy Rose can't do the same thing.
Yeah, they'd be just as entertaining as Control-Alt-Delete.
Yeah, absolutely. EJ, we'll go to you.
To me, I mean, obviously, I'm not surprised it was a great match, but just how great it was. I mean, again, Gunther and Sheamus putting on a fucking banger. Again, proving that you don't always need flips and dips and all this stuff, to have great matches. You can tell a great story by just having two guys slapping meat across the fucking way. What was it, like 15, 20-minute match? It went a while too.
It was 1933.
Yeah, it went a while.
Longest match on this show.
It went a while, and I was invested all the way through, man. And these guys,
17 minutes of it was them chopping the absolute fuck out of each other.
And again, obviously Gunther is the guy we're building. We'll continue to build, but man, Sheamus is such a great utility guy.
Gunther, future WWE World and
absolutely
champion without question,
and it might happen sooner than you realize.
The other good part of this match, I won't put it in the best part. Imperium is back.
Yes.
Oh my God, that intro, dude. Ludwig Kaiser had, 15 seconds and made the most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That man, like what a way. I mean, I thought the start of the show was great with the women's 6-way. But there's part of me that's like, man, Intercontinental title maybe should have opened that show. You opened that show with Ludwig Kaiser re-debuting Imperium.
Mm-hmm.
Brother, that's the start of a pay-per-view. That's the start of a premium live event.
That was the I mean, I didn't see all three pay-per-views, but that was by far in my opinion, the match of the weekend for me.
Absolutely. It's on my matches of the year list.
Oh yeah, without question.
And I mean, we only have a couple more months left. It's currently not staring at my top 5 list at the moment, but or my candidates for the top 5. But for me, this one absolutely has to be penciled into the top 5 right now. Something's gonna have to knock it out for it to not be in. So for mine, I'm looking down over this. I jokingly said on 3 count that the beginning of the end of AEW is my best of the weekend.
Oh God.
But look, and we'll obviously talk about AEW here in a little bit, and I will preface anything and everything that I say on the rest of this show with, as much as the issues that I have with AEW, I do not want them to go away. I think their existence is better for the wrestling world, both in terms of just rising tide raises all ships, plus it's another place for wrestlers to do their thing. So I do not want AEW to go away. I will say that right now.
That is on my podcast today too. Yeah, absolutely.
But one thing I will, my best of the weekend, with the other 2 things gone, because Gunther would have been mine, is Seth Franklin Rollins getting a win on a premium live event.
Love it.
Guy. That match, it was real good. I think one thing that's been great about this storyline, especially over the past couple weeks, is I think it's brought the best out of Matt Riddle. It's been able to bring a serious side out of Matt Riddle. And yes, he did get his first name back, so I'm not saying that incorrectly. But Rollins, this was technically his second win of the calendar year on a premium live event. The first one came by DQ.
Roman.
But man, I honestly don't remember the last time he got a pinfall victory on a premium live event. So yeah, Seth Rollins getting the win in a big match. Huge for him. Love that dude.
Question on that match real quick. I like the match, obviously, but did that match match your expectations of it? Well, it was maybe a little not disappointing, but it wasn't as good as we thought it was going to be. But
I think the real problem is what it had to go up after.
I mean, yeah, you had the big Dom turn.
Yes,
I'm just saying the crowd probably lost a lot of gas.
Yeah, I mean, it was. And here's the thing: not only was it up what it was after, but also what it was before. That match was in a very tough spot on this card, because the only thing left after this is the quote unquote hometown hero, Drew McIntyre, and the tribal chief Roman Reigns. So that is a tough spot. I think they did a good job. Man, that crowd. Also, honorable mention probably for best of the weekend was that UK crowd.
They're awesome.
They have
go.
more than earned.
I was gonna say we should probably do another lap of best of because there's.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. That UK crowd, man. Like that UK crowd was spectacular.
Did you hear the crowd sing Edge's theme song too? Also,
singing Edge's theme song, singing Rollins' theme song.
Yeah.
I mean, so good. So kudos to the UK crowd. Look, the Saudi crowd. Everybody can take their problems with the Saudi shows. That's fine. The Saudi crowd plays along. The UK crowd plays along. A lot of times your Canadian crowds play along. US crowds need to keep the fuck up.
Yeah, they're about pictures and shit and phones.
Like if you go to a show on Broadway, you play along with the show.
Absolutely.
If this, I get it. Wrestling, we know the backstage stuff. We're all into it. Play along. You're at a show. You're at live theater, basically. Play along. EJ, another your second best of the weekend.
I mean, obviously Roman and Drew didn't disappoint, obviously, man. But Drew was still main event material. I think I came away with this thing saying, you know what, he should be in the mix going forward. I don't know if we put a tie back on him anytime soon, in April at Mania, whatever. But that match showed me he can be that guy. I mean, to go against Roman and to. I mean, there were times I was thinking, "Whoa, they might actually pull this fucking
it was
trigger."
There was a few nervous moments,
nervous moments. But Drew McIntyre really, because Roman's Roman. Roman is probably the best big match guy right now in all wrestling. Drew McIntyre proved again that he deserves to be in the mix for the title.
Yeah, Mikey B, your other best.
All right, my other best. We're gonna move over. We've talked a lot about the premium live events. Let's talk about what happened on Sunday. There's a couple things that you could go to here. You could go to that 6-man tag title match for the trios titles. Those guys flipped around, did a bunch of shit. But I'm gonna go something different here. It is the return of the devil himself. It is the return of one Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Fuck yeah.
You
fucking mark.
Yep.
I believe
waiting patiently for that one.
I'm not going to toot my own horn or anything, but I called the Joker winning. I called the Joker being Maxwell Jacob Friedman. I love how they got there also with the Stokely Hathaway.
That was awesome.
Group.
Really?
I liked it because here's the thing.
Oh, I thought it was so poorly executed.
See, no, because here's the thing. You don't know if Max is with them or what. Because now this is something you can play off going forward. Because Max can now look up and go, Stokely, here's your check. Stokely can go do his thing, being the mercenary gun for hire, while Max can then cash in the chip and win the title.
Yeah.
It leaves that storyline open-ended to me.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll reserve final judgment until I see the payoff. But I thought it was goofier than fuck during the ladder match. I thought the execution didn't make sense, tying the beginning to the end. And
I did enjoy him coming out to the fuck is the name of the song? Fuck.
Sympathy for the Devil.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
that was
by the Rolling Stones.
I was saying, I enjoyed the fact that it played all the way, like it played into the character, but it also worked because here's the thing. Maxwell Jacob Friedman walked in and he grabbed a poker chip. He didn't throw a punch. He didn't throw a kick. He hasn't done anything wrestling-wise except for walk down to a ring, grab an oversized card protector, and then leave. I love it because it fits the character. And him and Stokely have a backstory from their old indie days. So Maxwell, in the backstage segment, just opens up his jacket, pulls out an envelope, and says, "Pleasure doing business with you." And then those guys go on to do their own thing and use the money to maybe recruit somebody like to team up with Morrissey or something like that, a big guy. It could be fun. But I just I love the fact that MJF is back. I love the promo that he cut on Wednesday, where everyone was cheering for him, and he came out in a Bills jersey. And then Mox came out, and it was the old MJF, where he basically told everyone to go fuck themselves. That's a guy. I don't care what company he's working for. His promo skills will make him a top guy no matter where he goes. So I have to put him in his return in the top portion of the weekend.
Here's a bonus, quick, if you don't mind, Jim. Finally pulling the trigger on Dominic turning on his dad and Edge.
That took too long.
It took long, yes, but finally doing it.
Yeah, but I actually.
The only thing is, it makes sense because of how much the United Kingdom crowd was behind Ray and Edge. It got the oh shit reaction. I don't think it gets that reaction in Tennessee at SummerSlam. No. I think it was kind of like
no, and they did a really good job because again, with Edge being part-time, Edge, like he went away for a couple of months, he comes back at SummerSlam. Then you start to tell that story of Ray looking at Edge as if they are quote unquote family.
Right.
And that's what because honestly, you kind of ran into this tough spot this summer where you ran into the history the anniversary of Ray's debut. So like how the hell are you gonna have his kid turn on him? I mean, I guess you could have him turn on him at the celebration of the anniversary of the start of his career, but to me that's almost like on the level of WCW taking his mask off. Right. Like family is so important to this dude. You don't turn him then. But now, because family is so important in that lucha style, that lucha culture, that Ray's looking at Edge as family. Dude, fuck that, man. Like, I'm literally your son. Like, I'm literally your son, and you're calling this motherfucker family?
Yeah.
Dude, not cool. Not cool. So I like the execution of it. I enjoyed what they did with him on Monday. So I'm definitely intrigued. I think it breathed new life into the Judgment Day.
Yes, I agree with that. And I think also too, yeah, it took long. I agree with Mike there. It should pull the trigger like months ago. But I think the Rhea angle makes him more cooler.
Absolutely.
And they're throwing more little like tidbits and I made him a man and all this. I was like, it's perfect. That's great.
He's living the dream.
I wish I was Dominic Mysterio right now. And I never thought I would ever say that ever in my life, but
he's living the dream, dog. That's all I'm saying. He is living the dream.
Absolutely.
All right, let's flip the script here. We go to the worsts of the weekend. EJ, I got to turn it to you first because I'm going the other direction. So what was your worst of the weekend?
Obviously, the Liv Morgan and Shayna Baszler thing. I thought it was actually a better match than I thought it would be. Honestly, it was not a bad match. But again, the Shayna, man, just cut Shayna, dude. Just cut her. Because, I mean, we discussed this on the pod last week. Anything that's not at least a DQ win for Liv, if she's going to lose clean, then what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? I mean, can you still rehab Shayna now at this point? Can you?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can. It was definitely a better match than I expected. So I won't. Even though I was kind of the banging the drum for if Shayna loses clean, what same thing you said there. But I thought it was a good note. I thought it was really a good showing. I don't think Shayna looks horrible coming out of this one, but
I guess the priority too also was to make Liv look strong to some degree. She's a champion.
It took Liv hitting both of her big moves back to back to keep her down. It wasn't like it was like, oh, here I hit this random move out of left field and ended the match.
Yeah. But it's like I
don't
you know what it is though,
as you do.
You know what it is though? I still look at Shayna as NXT Shayna. I still look at her.
That's the problem.
Yeah, and I have to get past that. I guess it's 2 years. It's been over 2 years now. I get it, but
All right,
it's not
Mikey.
just that it's been 2 years. It's she was booked completely different in NXT than she ever has been on the main roster.
Correct.
The closest that you have to it is the run that ended with her wrestling at WrestleMania Ceiling Fan after the pandemic was caused by her performance at fucking Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
My worst, or one of my worst moments of the weekend. We're gonna go back over to old Chicago, and we're gonna talk about this one. It's gonna be a mainstay of in a little bit here. On Phil.
Oh, Mikey, you're freezing up there, my guy. I'll try to interject here, just because he did freeze up, and I won't steal where I think he was going, and we'll obviously discuss that coming up here in a little bit. My worst of the weekend. You know what? It may have been one of Mike's bests. But I'm actually gonna pull him out of the video because I think he's having some internet issues there. But one of my worsts of the weekend is the execution of the Joker in the ladder match. I thought it was goofy. Like, all of a sudden you just have like these weird random mass dudes showing up. You have Stokely with the poker chip, giving it to the guy that is dressed like the guy who's giving away the magician secrets on that A&E special about magic shows.
Yeah.
You didn't tie the two together from the beginning of the show to the end of the show very well, because when MJF showed up at the end, sure, he had the mask, but he didn't even have the poker chip. The whole fucking point of the match was to have the poker chip,
right?
And he doesn't come out with it. So it just didn't connect with me at all. And like I said, it was poorly executed. I'm curious to see where we go with MJF being back in the mix. But yeah, I definitely wasn't a fan of the Joker stuff. Mikey, I think you're back with us. Let me.
No. Yeah, I'm here.
It's all right, now we got you. So I purposely, because I figured I knew where you were going. So I didn't take the one I think you were going to, even though it would have been my number one.
Like, why the fuck do we put the title back on Phil?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, hey, by the way, just want you guys to know that 8 days ago we couldn't sell tickets in Cleveland, so we decided to put this match on. So you guys went hook, line, and sinker, and decided to fall for us. And you decided to spend money on tickets and then spend $50 on a pay-per-view. Good job, Tony. Great decision with all that cocaine that you found in Chicago, you fucking retard.
I'm serious. I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
No, he didn't sit back and take it. He just got down on his knees and took it.
Yeah, he laid there.
And smiled.
Yeah.
Sir, do you have any more cocaine? Yeah, I got the good stuff, Tony.
I'm with you on that one. That makes
I'd have to be on my hands and knees and just take it.
That's what he did. So yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't like. And here's the thing. I understand what happened in the post scrum, and we're going to talk about that probably a little bit more in depth with my topic.
Yeah.
So I don't want to cross that bridge.
Sure.
But what were you doing with the title after he got it back? I get it. You were going to give John a vacation. And that's probably a guy who's earned the right to take a couple weeks off to go do his
absolutely.
But you kind of fucked Mox, and then you don't stop Phil from running his mouth, so you kind of let him fuck your whole shit up. But what were you going to do with the title with Phil? Who was his next opponent? Was it Daniel Bryan Danielson? Was it Jericho? Was it Darby Allin? Like where were we going? There was nothing that made sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, how
I
again?
get it. The closing segment with MJF, that's where we were inevitably going to get at Arthur Ashe.
Right.
And
Yeah,
my only hope was that it was going to be with Maxwell winning the fucking title.
And see that's the challenging thing too, because AEW fans have told me for years that they don't. AEW doesn't do quick title changes, but now all of a sudden you had a title change in May, a interim champion in July,
June, July, yeah.
June, July. You had a new undisputed champion in August, a new champion in September, and then you're going to turn around. And I agree that if we were getting MJF versus Punk at Arthur Ashe at the end of September, that it should go on MJF. But you're doing another title change at the end of September?
And the only reason why I would have said yes is because if he doesn't win the title there, you've done him worse than you have any other.
Oh, absolutely. Again, I'm full on MJF winning.
He can't go 1-4
no.
against Phil from Chicago and
absolutely
expect
not.
people to still give a fuck.
Absolutely not. But that's the booking themselves into a corner situation.
Correct. But I still think Maxwell walks out of Arthur Ashe with the title if he takes on Punk there.
Yeah, absolutely. And he should. But like, then again, like, why did we have to put it on Phil? And here's another, and this is something that it hit me the other day that I think has gotten lost in this is, everybody wants to talk about the fact that Jon Moxley was the quote unquote first 2-time champion in AEW history. Technically speaking, I suppose, but one of those reigns is an interim title reign, right?
Yeah.
No,
because then I guess he did. He did win.
Okay,
but like when they started calling him that, like he,
okay.
I don't know. It just it irks me that that freaking Punk is your second 2-time champion. Like why?
Number one, he decided to jump off of the fucking stage like a moron. That's number one.
Well, yeah, I mean,
number two, because fucking Tony Khan does an insane amount of cocaine and thought it was a good idea. Here's where I'm at with wrapping up the Phil thing. We'll talk about it, like I said, in a little bit here with my topic, but it's just, you booked yourself in a corner with Max. You booked yourself into a corner with a couple of other options, as Ernest is texting us. I just got the ding on my computer, as you guys heard. But it's I just don't get it. I don't get the decision making to put him back in the main event. Hey Phil, we'd love to have you, but I'd like for you to lose to John in a more competitive match. We'll come back to you maybe after Max beats John, at Arthur Ashe, and then Mox gets to go have his vacation.
Right.
Max gets the win over the first ever 2-time champion, stuff like that. So like I think that's a better transition, because then Phil can be like, well, I've beaten you twice. I'm the former champion. I'm finally healed. I have, all of these things that I can come back to in promos against Max that makes a hell of a lot more sense than just deciding to pivot and go, hey, we're giving the title back, and then you got to fight Max in a couple weeks at Arthur Ashe. Like, why? This makes no sense.
Yeah. I mean, my another worst. We don't have to go super long form on it, but I'm not going to get deep into the Punk portion of the presser, because we're gonna touch on that with your topic here in a minute. But the presser as a whole, I get it. You're trying to present AEW as a
alternative,
a more sport-based wrestling company. And in sports, you do press conferences. And I know WWE did one on
Oh, I was going to say, hold on. Let's while we wait for Ernest to come back, because I don't want him to miss out on the rest of this topic. Let's just compare the two.
One was run by adults, one wasn't.
Well, and then you have a world champion comes up there, stays in character,
Acknowledge me.
To a random reporter.
Yeah.
Perfect. Phil walks up, and the first thing he does is decide that he's going to drink some, fresh water from fucking Target, while eating pinwheels and pistachios like a real fucking champion would. Great job, bud. Way to fucking make it about yourself, fucking retard. And then the first thing out of his mouth isn't like, "Hey man, appreciate you having me on. Great match." Da, da, da. It's fuck Scotty Goldman.
Yeah, like
What?
Here's the deal, and I'll give a shout out to my guys over the New Age Insiders. There is nothing that is. I think Liam on there said, or Eddie, I should say, said on there that there is nothing more controllable and also more disrespectful than just talking with your mouth full.
Oh yeah.
Like,
awful.
I don't care, dude. You want to eat all the pastries in the world after you're done? Fine by me.
Why the hell? You started on me as you saw me like chomping into a fucking cheeseburger. You're just like, look at me. Let's start with you, and I'm like, hold on, let me move this over here.
Like, why are you sitting? And this is also a podcast with buddies. This isn't a media scrum.
Correct.
By the number 2 wrestling company in the world, quote unquote.
I would still say that they're number 3 in the world, but that's me. Whatever.
So, I mean, again, that's why I said quote unquote. And you're the world champion of that company. Yeah, it just, man. But the not again. We'll get to the Punk stuff here in a little bit. But the whole thing, like, you have a owner of a company who has no control over his presser. You have an owner of a company who's sitting there. Like, look at the difference too between Triple H and Tony Khan. Triple H is there in a suit. He looks organized. He has, I mean, I get it. He's bald now, but like, his beard's nicely trimmed. He's in a suit. He's sitting up. Tony is in a hooded sweatshirt, hair disheveled, and is like, just like lounging in the desk chair. And you also have the owner of the company saying things like this.
I'm serious. I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
And like, chugging water with a unusually
almost choking to death on a bottle of water, like swearing, having no control over the people.
See, this is the one time that I wish that we had our resident gay expert on the show, because I wanted to ask him about Tony's skill, because he took that gold like a fucking champion.
Yeah, that was awkward. But like, and then you also have like Keith Lee saying that like he's too good for social media or something along those lines. You have Swerve like just kind of going rogue. You have fucking media members who clearly are not journalists. You have these fucking dorks who are just wrestling fans with a blog and a website, asking things like,
what are the odds you think we get credentialed?
I mean, why couldn't we?
Let's go.
But like, you have guys asking professional wrestlers, hey, why wouldn't they call an audible there and have the Acclaimed win? What the fuck kind of questions are you asking? Do you not screen these people?
That's what I'm saying. I think we would at least have logical questions. Like Swerve's question from Take Your Wrestling podcast, Fat Kid Certified Wrestling, Mike Bernier. Keith, this question is for you. What flavor of Baskin Robbins would you like us to bask in your glory?
Like, here's the deal.
At least he probably would have chuckled about that.
If you know anyone who has tried to get interviews with people who work for WWE, there's a process you have to go through. There's a screening process you have to go through, and this and that. There is a reason for that. So you don't get moments like that. Then you also have Tony Storm sitting there and burying however you think about Thunder Rosa. That's not the issue here. You have your new interim world champion who is like sitting there going, like, basically implying that the still reigning, because that's what interim means, right? Still reigning world champion.
Let's also not forget that that's her tag team partner.
Right. But even if it's not, even if they're feuding, let's pretend that for a moment. even if they're feuding, you have the current interim women's world champion, implying that your quote unquote reigning defending world champion is faking an injury so she doesn't have to be there. Like the whole thing was a mess. So like, and guess what? It overshadowed your biggest homegrown heel returning to the company and basically being able to call his shot for the world title.
We should have walked out of Chicago, and what should have been talked about was Punk winning the title and Max returning. Instead, it's every person that went in that media scrum shit on somebody in some way, shape, or form.
So the whole media scrum from AEW.
Maybe this is a point where Tony has to understand. Let's not do those at
or, and here's the thing, because here's the thing about wrestling. Like WWE did a press conference. Guess what? That press conference is part of the show.
Correct.
That the press conference is screened, is planned. I don't know if the questions, like, I'm not implying that WWE is handing questions to reporters as they're walking in. No, but they are screening. They are screening the people who are asking the question.
Yeah, if you want to go back to the next one, you better fucking come correct.
Right. So these people know that they can't go like the journalists in the room can't go rogue and ask stupid questions.
I mean, the whole thing with Phil, it's from fuck Scotty Colton to fuck,
Yeah, let's hold off on it. We'll get to the Punk stuff. So yeah, that's my other worst.
So my other worst, and I'm gonna stay in the Chicagoland area. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm a pivot here. I'm actually going to go to the graphics for a certain thing that took place this weekend. Dear NXT Paintball, dear Sean, dear Hunter, I get it. Like, it's supposed to be a cool thing. What the fuck are we doing with this Carmelo Hayes and hanging jerseys up in the rafters of guys that he beat? Like the Ricochet thing where it just says his name on like a random like plain white tee with his little fucking logo. Like, what are we doing? Why? I get it. His gimmick is supposed to be best, but you're already letting people like Ernest call him Carmelo Anthony. You're just playing.
I don't do that.
You're just playing into the gimmick.
That's a Joe thing, isn't it?
Buddy, I think you've called him it a couple times too. Don't worry about it. He's the number one wrestler of the year right now.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is,
he can do what he wants then.
What I'm saying is, though, a guy of his caliber that has been as good as he has been all year, that is coming off of a good, if not great, match against Ricochet. Mm-hmm. And you're like, here's this corny little fucking graphic where they're going to put Ricochet's jersey in the rafter now. And he's going to show up on Friday Night SmackDown and still be on the main roster while the guy that he beat is still hanging out in Orlando. What are we doing? Like the whole closing thing of that match where I was just like,
I gotta see that.
Great. That was a great match. Like, let Carmelo take the title, leave, this, that, and the other. I do know that Ricochet beat Trick Williams on Tuesday and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is I just felt that took away from how good Carmelo and Ricochet truly was. Because we're trying to get over an act or a gimmick or a thing.
He's still a dick, though. The same.
Oh, he's still a dick. EJ.
Okay, let's go.
Your other worst of the week.
Oh, my other worst. Let me see. You said Phil already, so I can't use that one. Damn, I'm trying to think.
I mean, I do have an honorable mention that
I also don't have another one. To be honest, I think shit. I don't have one other than the one.
Well, I mean, I can give you my honorable mention, but you may not agree with it. But it's
what is it?
I get that the trios titles were made for the guys that won the title,
mm-hmm.
but that would have been a good one for the Dark Order to get.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, in hindsight, it would have worked out better.
Yeah. Especially
I'm
with
saying
now.
from a perspective of Brody's been gone. The Dark Order needs something. I would have loved to have seen John Silver, run around with the title and just grab the microphone at one point and just like, Brody, we did it, kind of thing.
That'd been cool.
Have it have the moment, because John was always was Brody's guy, like him and Reynolds, especially in the Elite stuff. So I feel like that one, and it's not a slight on Kenny and the Bucks at all. I just feel like they missed that moment. That you had an opportunity to do something really, really cool.
And I'll kind of agree with you. And it extends from the weekend, but they had the opportunity to go with the guy. So Dark Order is good enough to make it to the finals of the original tournament, but they're not good enough to be in the match when the original champions have to get stripped of the title.
No, because you had to put Hangman in the Tournament of Champions.
Yeah, put him in both. I don't fucking care.
It was just so predictable. One thing else.
No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. That show last night needed Adam Hangman Page versus Bryan Danielson.
Great match, by the way, too.
It needed it because your other great match on that show was Daniel Garcia winning the Pure Wrestling title.
Right.
Yes.
But you knew that was going to be about a 14-minute match, and that was it.
Yeah.
You needed something of depth because you had the Trios title, which started the show off hot. You needed that match in the middle to then get you to the Pure title.
Yeah.
You take Page out of that match. You move that match to Friday night, and you put Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara in the middle. That's rough.
I also don't necessarily think that you need to put Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin in the Tournament of Champions, but that's another issue in and of itself.
Well, okay, Sammy, I understand because he is a multi-time TV champion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That one I don't hate.
But he ain't winning shit.
I don't love. Well.
Oh, you gonna talk this in?
I'm not gonna talk this. I'm gonna talk in the fact that he's got a shot to fight somebody Friday with a chance to face John Moxley the next Wednesday. That's what I'm gonna say. I mean, here's the thing. We didn't think Phil from Chicago was going to walk out of Chicago with the world title until he decided to get his door super kicked by the Young Bucks, and we were fucking wrong there. So don't ever say never when it comes to cocaine fucking.
Yes, I forget what game was Tokyo Khan booking. Yeah.
Here's the deal. You could have put Wardlow in the tournament. I understand he's got the TNT title, but
Just got it.
He ain't going to win the tournament, but you can put him in there.
I don't necessarily want to put Wardlow in there because I don't want him to lose right now.
Okay, that's fair.
Right, yeah. Keep them going.
I get your point.
Here's other guys in your current top 5, most recent top 5. You got Hangman in there. You got Powerhouse Hobbs in there. You got Jay Lethal in there. There's no Sammy Guevara to be found.
I would have loved for them to put Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Lethal's been in there for weeks. Why is he not in it? Hobbs has been in your top 5 for a month and a half. Almost 2 months.
Are we surprised, man? Rankings matter, apparently.
I truly just believe that Jay Lethal should be in the top 5. He lost a fucking 6-man tag match to FTR and Wardlow on fucking Sunday.
I mean, Jay Lethal's been in your top 5 for months. There's 2 guys right there that don't need to be Sammy Guevara, and valid reasons, but what
was Darby's reason again?
I mean, Darby's been in the top 5.
Longest running TNT champion or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And I get they haven't been champions in your company.
Okay,
you're doing the Tournament of Champions.
You should put Sting in there.
Something you could, but
nostalgia.
And you also didn't necessarily, and I get it. You're wanting to, you're reacting to the moment, so I don't want to be too critical of last night, but you didn't have to do the trios titles last night.
I actually would have done something where I had those 2 teams face off, and then I would have had Hangman lose to Bryan, and then on next Wednesday's show have the Dark Order and Page take on whomever.
Right, whoever wins.
take on the winner of the House of Black at Arthur Ashe. That's what I would.
It just doesn't add up why the guys who made it through your initial tournament and lost in the finals weren't involved in the match to determine the new champion.
Especially with the team that they beat was the team that then got the match.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're telling me that you're just going to announce next week that it's going to be the House of Black versus Dark Order and Hangman.
Yeah, but how's it going to be House of Black? Malachi Black's gone.
And then fucking
more or less.
Death Triangle. Okay. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, do we have to officially start calling him Tupac now because he has 2 titles?
Oh God, probably.
Oh, Lord.
All right, cool. All right, let's move on before we.
All right, new game here. New game. We're gonna start here. Called heel or face. I'm gonna list off 5 wrestlers from any era, and just want to discuss whether or not you prefer them as a heel or face.
All right.
First one is my all-time favorite, of course. Macho Man Randy Savage.
Orndorff. Fuck.
Not Paul Orndorff, dude.
Fuck, man.
Oh yeah. Well, heel, of course, but Macho Man Randy Savage, heel or face?
First name King, last name Macho. Give me the heel, Macho Man.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I mean, not that he wasn't good as a face, but I feel like by the time you really got a face run, he was at the tail end of his WWE career, and then a lot of that WCW stuff was a mess.
Well, when he won a title in '88,
he Powers run, but he wasn't like the face. The face was Hogan.
Right. It was still the Hulk Hogan show.
So I think that's what Jim was meaning by it. He didn't really get a solo face run. He was always he was the Brutus the Barber Beefcake to Hulk Hogan in the late '80s. Like he was like, "I'll be your partner, brother." Fucking bullshit.
You don't consider the second title run when he beat Flair at Mania 8 as a solo face?
I mean, it is, but it wasn't as good as,
well, of course, yeah,
him being the Macho King, and that's my point. Like, not that it wasn't good, but it's still at the tail end.
For the record, I agree.
Let me put it this way: he won the title at 8. He didn't even wrestle at WrestleMania 9, and at WrestleMania 10, he's in that goofy ass Falls Count Anywhere with Crush, and then he's out of it. You know what I mean? And then he's never seen from again in WWE.
I will say his best face run was actually in WCW. When he got the '94, and he wrestled Flair in '95. I actually enjoyed that face run. But yeah, it's heel.
Yeah, right, exactly. So again, you're just proving our point that heel is the right.
I just want to discuss a little more in depth, you know, like I said. But now, do you prefer the heel, the original heel run as IC champion, or do you prefer the Macho King run?
I'll take Macho King.
Yeah, definitely King.
I'm torn because I love the IC title run.
The IC title run was great. I'm not saying that it wasn't, but
I was also like alive for the
true. But Macho King was fucking fantastic
for the King run.
He was just on a whole other level with everything when he was King Macho.
Yes.
From his promos to his in-ring work to his mannerisms to Sherry coming out, like it was all on a whole other level.
100% agree with you on that. 100% agree with that. All right, next one here is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, heel or face? Jim.
Which way is his eye facing?
Northwest.
I gotta go heel because even if you look at him with DX, like, I mean, technically speaking, even though they were getting cheered,
they were heels.
They were heels. No question.
So yeah, heel is the better Shawn Michaels.
I think this is actually one of your worst people to ask because I think the only answer is heel. Yeah. His face runs included when he was a member of the Rockers, and whenever fucking Vince McMahon wrestled God. The fact that those are his 2 like greatest face moments can tell you that the bulk of his career was as a heel. And someone as successful as he was, it made sense to be heel. Yes, you can mention the Iron Man match and him being a face with that, but it led to more of the heel character coming out because of the problems that he ended up having with Brett and stuff like that. So when I think like Shawn Michaels' career path, it's like face, fuck Marty Jannetty, heel for like fucking forever.
Right.
gets hurt, comes back as a fucking face. You know,
Mhm.
has the heel all the way through like WrestleMania 10 with Razor. You know, decides that he wants to be a face for like 6 weeks of his life. You know, comes down the fucking entranceway on a zip line, gets his ass kicked by Marines, something like that. You know, weird.
Mhm.
Something that a real face would do. You know, get into a bar fight with a bunch of Marines.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that Sean's character needed to be a heel.
Right.
And Sean played the perfect heel, especially in the mid to late 90s.
Let me just say, I do love his face run in 02 when he came back.
I'll say I think the comeback was good.
It was fun, a lot of fun, but it's easily heel. His 97 run to me is among one of the greatest runs in the history of the company.
I'm actually listening to this past weekend's Something to Wrestle, which is
1998.
I don't know if it's 98. I think it was 97. I think it was 96, 97.
Okay.
But they're
Yeah.
talking. It's Sean this week, and literally it's 97, 98. I still have an hour of it left, but it's actually a really good episode.
Yeah.
I love whenever they're like, "Oh yeah, remember that time that Bret Hart was sitting in the ring on the wheelchair? You know, Michaels was waiting for his cue, waiting for Bret to get up to super kick him, and he's like, I was trying to be professional, but I almost super kicked his ass right out of the wheelchair.
Mhm.
That would have been better."
Yeah. They went off the air too, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah. To quote the great Brian Cage, get your shit in. Like if you don't see the fucking the it coming.
Speaking of that guy, where the fuck is he at? Speaking of that guy, where the fuck he's at?
Tully Blanchard Enterprises that then got sold to some other random schmuck because Tully Blanchard told Tony Khan that there isn't enough cocaine in the world for both of us.
Next one here, Seth Rollins. Mikey.
Heel. No, sorry.
I don't think he's truly had a face run.
Very, very little.
Well, when I started watching 2019, he was babyface.
Well, here's the thing. He had that little bit of a face run and that run where he tried to get Mox to reform the Shield whenever Roman got sick.
And when he went up against Lesnar at 35. That was a bit of a face run.
That's when I came back. A month after that, I came back.
I'm sorry. When you think about Seth Rollins, it's the formation of the Shield. It's the heist of the century. You know,
it's Triple H's third. Like it's his backup plan. He's the guy that he was part of the Shield. Who, let's be honest, when they first started, were heels, and then they got popular, and then Seth destroyed the Shield.
Always have Plan C.
The heist of the century. Corporate guy.
Was he a heel at that time too? The heist.
The heist, yeah,
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. He was Triple H's hired gun.
Yeah, so he turned one Money in the Bank that year, and that was the Money in the Bank that he used for the heist of the century.
Okay.
Yeah, even though when you watch 31, the crowd go banana, because it was fucking insane.
I think that's just because we were all Seth Rollins fans from his independence.
Dude, because it was just fucking insane. Because like you were like, wait, is this really happening right now?
Yeah. I was there. Trust me, I think I punched Joe that night.
I couldn't imagine, watching.
Dude,
that
I went nuts.
Especially. Let me just say this: I came back watching during his face run, and I fucking hated it.
The problem with his face runs, and this is the thing, they tried to make him too cookie cutter.
Yes.
Yeah. That's not Seth.
That's who he is.
Here's the thing: if they wanted to transition him to a face now, and I think it would be a lot better because Triple H is going to let Seth be Seth, even in a face role. But
he's probably a tweener anyway. He might be a tweener. Be annoying as shit.
He's a tweener because people love him because they realize how good he is.
He's a heel because of the storyline with Matt.
But by definition, by the way he portrays himself.
Right.
He is a heel, but people love him because they're recognizing greatness.
Yes, for him to transition though to being a face right now, it would basically have to tell Seth, "Here's a blank canvas. Do what you please. Let him go out there with the funky wardrobes and keep doing his dancing and all that stuff because it's entertaining."
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
You can't have him come out there and be like, "I'm gonna challenge you for the title because I'm the only one that can beat you." Because I'm Mr. fucking generic. Like he can't
No. The
That
cackling and shit, and the laughing and cackling is the fuck. Everybody thinks annoying. I think it's fucking fantastic.
It's good character work.
Yes.
The thing is here's the he is the perfect person to play the role of like the Joker. He literally is sitting there and he's like, "Do you want to play a game?"
Yeah.
He is that like, you're like, I want to wring his neck, but what he's saying makes perfect fucking sense. You're like, oh my God, it's like he's doing exactly what he needs to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you. Heel by far. I mean, I've watched his in hindsight. This run right here, freaking Rollins, by far my favorite.
I've been
by
a Seth
far.
Rollins guy from day one, and I can tell you this is his best work.
I've been a fan of his since he was part of a stupid ass tag team in Ring of Honor with Jimmy Jacobs called the Age of the Fall, where they hung the Briscoe upside down and had blood drip on Jimmy Jacobs in the middle of fucking Chicago. So, and I remember him getting booed the fuck out of the building in New York whenever he was the Ring of Honor World Champion.
All right, next one here, Kevin Owens.
Are you gonna pick one where face is a realistic option?
I'm trying to find.
Here's the thing. This one,
closer.
This one is closer than any of the other ones yet. I truly.
I can kind of agree with you in the sense that
the other ones have just been so.
Kevin Owens is Kevin Owens.
Yeah, the tweener.
I think that's the hard part.
But when you think about Kevin Owens, his first night there, breaks his nose, comes out to celebrate with his friend, and then fucking sticks the knife through his friend's heart, pulls it out of his chest, and like throws it at him. Like, he is an asshole, and he played that character in NXT to a T. His face run though on the main roster, where he, is stunning everybody and he's having a good time and all of that stuff. That was entertaining because it was something different from Kevin Owens.
Yes.
Think back to, and Ernest isn't going to know anything about this, Kevin Steen. Steen and Generico. The best part about Kevin Steen and El Generico for the longest time was the fact that Kevin Steen wanted to knock the shit out of El Generico.
Mm-hmm.
Generico numero uno, and Kevin Steen just wants to punch him in the face, even though they're tag partners and tag team champions in Ring of Honor.
Right.
Like it made that gimmick so much more entertaining because it was like, you're not numero uno. Shut the fuck up before I pack you into a locker, you dumb sack of shit. Like, Kevin Owens / Kevin Steen has been a heel because that's what Kevin Owens has been really, really good at for a long time.
Right.
But the face run that he had when he took over doing the stunner, it was different and it was refreshing for his character.
Yeah.
In the end, I do say that Steen / Owens being a heel is the better role for him. And if you're not going to make him a heel, make him this guy where he is a prize fighter. I don't like you. I'm going to kick your ass. Yeah. I might shake your hand at the end of it because we had a good fight and, you put up a good one. But my goal is to inevitably run through you, and if that means that, some, ginger fuck from Canada puts a mask on and walks up to Kevin Owens at one point and go Generico numero uno and, Kevin Owens power bombs him off the fucking apron, like then it is what it is. But no, I think I still have to go heel here. I think it just makes.
Yeah, like look, I mean, the moments where he's had face runs, a little bit goofy. He had the stuff with Jericho with the best friends, but the times that Kevin Owens feels the most like Kevin Owens.
What does that say? Look at the face.
Oh fuck!
For those of you that are not watching the video of this,
we're in a group chat.
There is a tweet that came out, parody tweet that says, starting from next week, we'll be holding a tournament to crown the brand new interim Queen of England as we await Queen Elizabeth to recover from her.
So God.
Hashtag too soon.
Ooh, shit.
Yeah, it's a heel for me.
So for me, I love both characters equally. I think I'll go face here because as a face, he can still blur the lines. and that it takes a special character and a special guy to do that, to still blur lines. You can still be a babyface, but still be that fucking badass motherfucker. In the same way Stone Cold Steve Austin mastered in 1997, 1998. You know what I'm saying? So Queen's right.
59 quarterbacks of the Cleveland
80, how many? 80 what quarterbacks? The Browns?
59.
Okay. No, but I think there's a special thing that he can do as a babyface, that he's a face, yes, but he's not that, oh my god, babyface and like, green. He can still blur lines in a way where it's like, yeah, I'm liked, I'm getting the pop, but I'll beat your fucking ass still no matter what. And he's probably the best in the company that can do that right now. Actually,
the only thing that takes me away from face is the answer is because when he's a face, he's not a serious threat to anyone or anything. Even though he's still good and he's still entertaining at what he does.
True, but that's also bad booking too.
Right, but we're answering this based on the presentation that has been given. But yeah, like again, entertaining, but he's not a threat to any, like he's never going to be a champion as a face.
Can you see him as a threat only as a heel? That's it.
As I've seen it so far, yeah.
All right, and finally, because it's gonna be a nice little segue to the next topic. Phil from Chicago, CM Punk, heel or face?
Go back to Chicago. I choose away. He's gone.
He gone.
So, I guess because Joe's asleep over there on the couch. I guess I'll be the resident history man. When it comes to Punk, he's been notoriously a heel for like 91% of his career. It feels like Ring of Honor with the feud with Raven, where he was trying to force Raven to drink and all that stuff. Raven was trying to force him to drink, and he was really the heel in that up into the summer of Punk, where he won the title and said that he was leaving with the title to go to WWE, where he was basically keeping the title hostage. And then when he comes to WWE, he has that little really shitty face run in WWE ECW until they decide to not put the title on in that December to Dismember inside that god awful fucking Hell in the Cell match, or not Hell in the Cell, fucking Elimination Chamber. Oh my god, so bad. Almost as bad as my name right now for anybody not watching at home.
I had Queen dying and Cooper Cup any time touchdown.
Buddy, I'm a gambler. What do you want from me? Call me Johnny Manziel. I'm a fucking gambler. What the fuck you want? So he's his natural thing, and then with the Straight Edge Society, and I truly think that he was only a face in that final match against Cena in Chicago because it was in Chicago. I think if that match happens almost anywhere else in the fucking world, he's getting...
Are you sure about that?
Yes. I think he's getting booed out of the building.
Are you serious?
I am. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I just it's got to be heel for me because this like generic face run when he came to AEW, where it was like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna wrestle anybody and I want to work with all these young kids, and now he's tired of the children.
Yeah.
You're a fucking moron. I said it last week. For those of you that did not listen to last week's show, feel free to go give it a listen, and we predict the AEW show, and I basically tell Phil that he can take his fucking ball and go home.
I need to clip that shit for the YouTube page.
I mean, but here's the thing. 7 days later, does anybody really feel any different than I? I said it 3 days before the match happened, and 7 days later, it's like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Kick rocks.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Mike. I don't know that we've ever really seen a good face CM Punk run. It does it when we do, I feel the only times he's being cheered is when he's either in Chicago or people are just like cheering like the moment or like what he's saying. It's not how he's booked. Face CM Punk feels here's a can of Babyface. Open the can of Babyface, please. It feels processed, it feels packaged, it feels unauthentic. Well, obviously we'll transition here in a minute, but I think CM Punk, I think Phil from Chicago, has shown his true self, and he has shown his hand multiple times in multiple companies. His best work as a worker and as a person, I think, is a heel.
Definitely a heel. Definitely a heel. Which will now transition into the next topic. Mike.
Oh,
CM Punk.
All right. We tiptoed around it while Ernest was away, putting his child back to sleep. We were discussing the shit that happened post All Out. My topic is going to be, with this potentially being the end of a Phil from Chicago wrestling endeavor in AEW. What is CM Punk's legacy? But I wanna sit though. Not now. I want to dive into the shit that he said at the media scrum, and then we'll get to the actual question at hand here. Again, first off, like me and Jim talked about, don't necessarily love the fact that he's eating fucking basically everything in his path to the stage. I felt like Tony Khan had to bribe him by just putting like little pieces of candy and pastries, like leading up the steps into the chair for him to sit down. Second off, why go after the fucking reporter because he's wearing a Penguins polo? Like, we're not talking about hockey. We get it. You're a Blackhawk fan, which is about as irrelevant as being an Atlanta Thrashers fan right now, because fucking the Blackhawks suck major cock. And they have for the last like 3 years because they're rebuilding. Well, guess what? Keep fucking rebuilding, you fucking bum. Maybe you should go play for them because you were piss poor at wrestling. You're even worse at fucking mixed martial arts. Maybe be a good goalie, you fucking prick. But I digress. Then I did last week. We might get there again tonight before
asshole.
Before we wrap this thing up. Then you want to go after the EVPs. Then you want to go after Hangman Adam Page, knowing that Adam Hangman Page isn't in the fucking building anymore because he can't go there. Why? Because you're in your feelings, Phil? Because your pastries didn't hit the spot after your hard match with Jon Moxley where you bled and you wanted to make it about yourself some more? Why? Because, you just finished the night going now into the biggest match in AEW history of a homegrown pillar in Maxwell Jacob Friedman against you at Arthur Ashe Stadium for the world title. And instead you want to go after Colt Cabana for some reason. For some reason you want to go after Matt and Nick Jackson and Kenny Omega. I don't know, probably part of the reason why you're even in the fucking company at this point. And then you want to go after Adam Hangman Page because he said something on national television? Sorry, that sold tickets to that match, Phil. What are we doing here? Like, weeks later you want to get in your feelings because Adam said something? Like, I'm sorry, I don't get this. Like, I don't get the greater than thou approach that Phil from Chicago has taken over the last couple weeks of this year. I was all excited as anything in the world that he was going to make a return. And then he took his pants down and shit in the ring.
Sure did.
And I truly don't get it. And, you sit here and you tell people, if you have a problem with me, to come knock on my door. Well, guess what, motherfucker? They super kicked that bitch off the hinges, and then you decided to fucking have your little homie fucking Ace Steel, who you got a job because he's your friend, start swinging fucking chairs and potentially fucking, maybe doing real harm to people because girlfriend was there. His fiance, his wife, whatever the fuck it was. Maybe Ace Steel shouldn't have fucking been there. Maybe, just maybe, when, the knock on the door is like, hey, motherfucker, let's have a conversation because you called us out. Don't just stand there and don't answer the door until someone gets to the point where they kick the fucker off the hinges. Like, don't tell people in a promo and in a shoot and in a media scrum, hey, I'm available if you want to talk, and then don't be fucking available to talk. Because we're going to find out, Phil. Oh. Looks like Jim was trying to play something, but I'm just of the notion now, I'm tired. Oh, I'm tired of the kids and all the other bullshit. Fuck you, Phil. The kids are the reason why you actually are able to sell t-shirts and to wrestle in front of fans now. Because those children, the executive vice presidents and the Adam Hangman Pages of the world, are allowing you to use the thing that they built off of their backs to rehone your skills. Because guess what? The WWE has already figured out we don't want to fucking deal with the headache. Let's let them deal with it. Let's let New Japan deal with it. Let's let AAW and AIW and all those companies deal with Phil from Chicago wanting to make it about himself. I don't get it, dude. I don't get it anymore. I loved all of Phil in Ring of Honor the first time. I loved all of Phil in WWE. But Phil in AEW has made it to where it's sour. And it tarnishes the legacy severely for me. Like, I'm good. I'm good on anything, Phil. Like, go get healthy. I mean, I'm not that guy that risks that wishes injury and ill will on any person in the world, Breaking news, you guys, I told you guys, shit happened with me. I'm not wishing any ill will on anybody involved in that either. At the end of the day, it's not going to get anything fucking accomplished. But at the end of the day, like, go get yourself taken care of, and then go enjoy your wife. Go enjoy your life. Go be, Phil Brooks. Stop worrying about being CM Punk, because being CM Punk right now is not good for Phil from Chicago. The character is tarnishing the work that the man has put in. And I think taking a step back, getting yourself healthy, not rushing back to deal with some other bullshit is what he needs right now. But me personally, if that's the last time I ever see Phil from Chicago in a wrestling ring, I'm good.
Yeah, let me see if I can get this to work. This is a video, and it was called what a difference a year makes. Let's see. Hopefully we can hear it too.
I'm back because there's a hell of a lot of young talent that I wished I was surrounded by 10 years ago. So in saying that, I sit back and I say, well, hell, they're there now, so why aren't you? Here I am.
1 year later.
I'm old and I'm fucking tired, and I work with fucking children. I'm tired of wrestling these kids that think they know everything. I'm
back because there's a hell of a
so
lot
like
of...
how did we get from one to the other in a year?
Because he's not wrestling with FTR. He's not wrestling with, Sting. He's not wrestling with Jericho. He's not wrestling with a guy like Max, who is a great character. They asked him to go out there and wrestle Jon Moxley twice. And here's the thing. The Jon Moxley stuff should have been the easiest person in the world for him to work with.
Right. You think so?
So in reality, his problem was, and let's cut the bullshit. His problem was fighting Adam Hangman Page for the world title.
Correct.
And why is that? Because he said something mean about Phil. Everybody's got to be.
And here's the dumbest part about that, Mike. The dumbest part about that is 99% of the people who heard Hangman Page take the quote unquote shot at Phil about the workers' rights or whatever it was. Nobody had any fucking clue the deeper meaning behind those words.
Like 3 people in the fucking world knew the fucking meaning behind that.
Right.
Yep.
And that was in May. Punk took a shot at Hangman sitting crisscross applesauce in a fucking ring in August, 4 months after Hangman said what he said.
And after beating Page for the title.
Right. After getting a main event spot at one of the company you work for now, the happy place, the place you're happy to be at. They give you the title in 9 months from the day you got in the fucking building. When there's guys who have been in that company for 2.5 years who haven't sniffed a title, but you come in and get it in 9 months. Okay? And you get it at one of their biggest shows. You never main evented WrestleMania. You main evented Double or Nothing, and you main evented All Out. The 2 shows that people will argue are AEW's WrestleMania. I say it's All Out. Other people argue Double or Nothing. Guess what? He main evented both, so it doesn't matter. He won the world title at both, so it doesn't fucking matter. Like, but you're gonna be 44 years old and you're gonna be mad at because some dude said something that only you know what he was talking about. When how many you sat on a stage on Monday Night Raw and told the world that the WWE would be better off when Vince McMahon, your boss, was dead. And you know what your boss did? The guy you said would be better off dead?
Gave you the world title.
Gave you the world title and signed you to more fucking money. But you're going to throw a bitch fit because Hangman Page said something that only you knew what the fuck he was talking about. And you sat on it at 44 years old for 4 months and then tried to make that guy look bad when he's not even in the building. You know, and you're gonna go off in a professional setting in front of the media. And I get we're using media loosely when it comes to wrestling journalism, but in a media scrum, and you're not even unprovoked. You're gonna go off about a dude who used to be your friend, and I get it. There was ugly situation there. There was no reason to fucking go there, and there was no reason to take a shot at the EVPs. There was no reason.
There's no reason to even bring Cabana up.
Not at all. That was calculated. That was rehearsed. He knew the fuck what he was doing when he went into that room. He knew exactly what he was doing when he went into that room. No reason for it. And then your boss, your new boss, the guy that you a year ago, I love this fucking man, and you hug him, and it's the love affair, and you love Tony Khan, and he makes wrestling good again, and everything that's good in the wrestling business that you're telling us for the last year is because of that dude on your left. And then that dude on your left tries to put the daddy pants on and be like, hey, let's just do the thing. And you're like, fuck you, Tony. This is the Phil show. Fuck that, man. Like that dude multiple times has told us exactly who he is, because he told us that he was dying. He had these staph infections and this and that, and WWE didn't care. And then what happened? He had to go under oath. He had to tell the truth. And it wasn't his experience in WWE wasn't as bad as he said it was. And he had to go under oath and say that the CM stands for Chick Magnet, and that's a whole nother different thing. Kudos to the guys over at Mindless Wrestling for always pointing that out. We talk about Phil.
Yeah, they do.
But like this dude, and then he comes back. It's his big return. It's the greatest moment. It's the first coming to the United Center, and you bring wrestling back to United Center, and everything's great. And this company has all these cool guys, and it's so great. And I wish I was here, and I wish I was around. And a year later, you're going to show us your true colors because you got mad at one dude. CM Punk has gone, and you don't think CM Punk has taken real shots, fired live rounds on the microphone at people in this business before? Yeah, he does it all the time. And it's cool because he's Phil and he's edgy. And
He can't take it.
And he's the voice of the voiceless. He can't take it back. Dude, if you're a grown man and you're gonna fire shots, you got to take them back. That's what I've always told people. You can tease me, we can have words back and forth, we can have fun. But if you fire, I'm gonna fire back. Phil can't take it, man, and that drives me insane about him. It drives me insane about
He's
him.
a fascinating guy because I didn't get to watch the Phil experience at any point in real time until right now. But yet even in those years and watching the product, in hindsight, he was definitely a fascinating individual. The pipe bomb thing was fascinating. How he left the company is fascinating. And then, for years leading up to last year, him returning, will he come back? Will he not come back? Very fascinating individual. And then to see, and again, I'm still not convinced all of this is not some fucking work. I don't know.
It's not a work. You want to, and I don't mean to interrupt. You have your world champion and your first ever trios titles, and they were taken away when, like,
I truly think the giveaway with that is the fact that there is no interim. There is no interim.
Yeah.
On any of this.
The company that loves interim titles, there's no interim title, and there's they've been removed from the intro videos. All of that. There was no Omega and the Bucks or CM Punk in the recap video from All Out. Your WrestleMania, and
you purposely left that
work. If this was a work, those guys would have still been at least in the recap video.
You would have at least mentioned them in the notice of taking the titles off.
Right.
Of them.
Right. You because you just
They
said
didn't even say their names.
Yeah. The titles are vacant. That's all they said.
We have to make changes to the trios titles and the world title. Like, hey,
because there's legal things that are preventing them from doing that.
Yeah, I mean, if it was Phil with the injury, hey, Phil got hurt in the main event. He's gonna be out for about a year. Like, we're not gonna do an interim thing because this isn't like the foot where he could come back in 6 weeks. So, new champion at Arthur Ashe. The elite Kenny screwed his shoulder up a little bit more. Going to be on the shelf. We're going to do some new trio. Like, you could have come up with something to parody the Kenny thing, especially with them rushing him back. You could have done something with the arm real quick and pivoted if this was a real work. This was a shoot, and from a legality standpoint, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks tried to press charges on Ace Steel for fucking swinging that chair and fucking blasting Nick Jackson in the fucking head with it. Here's the thing. Yes, you're a trained professional wrestler. You're a trained professional when you know that shit's coming and how to protect yourself. When you don't know it's coming, it's a good way to get fucked up, like, real quick.
I mean, even if you know it's coming, I mean, there's a difference between a working punch and a working having a chair thrown at you. Because even a working having a chair thrown at you is still a fucking chair thrown at you. But EJ, sorry, I interrupt.
No, that's okay. That's okay. No, that's fine. Because, like I said, to see all this and only a year, all it goes a year. It sucks. It sucks, but it also confirms. I mean, if we, as you said, you think this is 100% it's real. It confirms what we've all speculated for years, that this guy's just out for himself and he's just a douchebag.
But here's the thing, what has changed so drastically in 365 days for Phil?
I don't know.
He's gotten the world title twice. He's gotten the main event, their two biggest shows of the year.
Right.
He had a great feud with fucking MJF that he won. Phil ain't lost a fucking feud yet. He got all of his receipts for the losses that he has by beating them. What went wrong?
Why are you pissed, dude?
Like Did somebody
honestly,
put sand in his vagina?
like what? And because here's the deal, like even go back to WWE. You were champion for 400, almost 500 days, which doesn't happen in this era.
Oh,
okay. You were the last great match in ring of The Undertaker.
Correct.
And you were part of his streak. Like, oh, I'm sorry you didn't get to main event WrestleMania. But guess what? There's been a lot of great matches. The best match from WrestleMania 3 was not the main event.
nope, not even close.
Okay. And that's been the case at plenty of WrestleManias.
Yep.
Like you go like when you talk about WrestleMania 30, like one of the biggest things people talk about is Punk versus Taker. It was Taker's last great match. It was the last, in hindsight, it was the last victory.
That wasn't 30. That was probably 29.
I'm sorry, 29.
30 was Brock and Taker.
I meant 20. I meant 29. My bad.
Right.
People talk about Punk Taker. In hindsight, it was the last victory of the streak.
I need to watch that match actually.
Okay.
It was arguably in the top 3 of Taker all-time WrestleMania matches.
Absolutely.
That's a good topic actually one day. Top 3 matches of Taker history in WrestleMania history.
Like the fuck you beat John Cena twice.
One of them in Boston.
Yeah. Nobody beat John Cena twice. You were lucky to beat John Cena once. And you did it twice for the title twice. If memory serves. Like, what the fuck are you so pissed about?
They gave you an open microphone to say whatever the fuck you wanted.
Again, you got to tell Vince McMahon the company he built would be better when he's dead. And you're pissed because you're sick and beat up. So, dude, be a man and talk to the guy who let you say he'd be better off dead.
He must be
Take some time off to get healthy.
He must be a hoot at home.
Like, and now you go to this place where everything's supposed to be better. And they make you world champion twice.
Not enough.
In a year. And it's not enough. Like, what does it take to make Phil from Chicago happy?
Probably nothing at this point.
Like, but truly, like, it may not exist. At least it doesn't exist in wrestling.
It didn't exist in MMA either because he's 0 for 2 with 2 fucking losses.
Well, it's hard to be happy when you're getting your fucking head caved in less than a minute. Like,
all right.
Almost as good as Brock Lesnar's decision to go play football and then become like a world fucking champion in mixed martial arts. Because the difference is one of them is a true badass. The other one has a Pepsi tattoo on his arm.
But man, for me, like just looking at like, because like we'll talk it like if you follow 3CT this coming Tuesday, there's no mystery. We talked about it at the end of the live show. This coming Tuesday on our podcast, we talk about if these events impact CM Punk's legacy. So when I'm looking at this topic and like ultimately like what is if we never see CM Punk again, and I'm not 100% sure if we do, like what's his legacy? Dude, it's a complicated one because if you left WWE and you walked away from wrestling and it looked like you did it, you died so Bryan Danielson and little guys could live. That was the story. Like that was the takeaway of the walk away for CM Punk is because then things changed in WWE and Daniel Bryan became champion and other little guys became champion and this and that. So sure, let's play along with that theory. Then you come back to this new great place. And now look where we are. So now the narrative is going, wow, because we've seen it. If you've been on wrestling social media in the last couple months, you've seen Cena clips where he's going off about Punk, and you've seen the live HR meeting between Triple H and CM Punk in that ring on SmackDown. And guess what? WWE looks more right with everything Phil does.
Without
And guess
question.
what? If CM Punk burns the AEW bridge, he's done in wrestling.
Yeah. Because he ain't coming to Hunters at WWE.
Well, no, because
That ain't
guess
happening.
what? Like, you don't have Ring of Honor anymore because that's Tony's. Japan ain't calling you. And let's be honest, Phil ain't going and doing indies at 44 years old. So your only other option is WWE. Guess what? Hunter ain't calling. The only time Hunter ever even calls you is Hall of Fame. And that's years away at this point because of this shit. If it happens. WWE ain't calling. They don't need that smoke. They dodged a bullet by AEW paying more for Phil from Chicago a year ago. Because guess what? AEW fans, Phil was going to come back to WWE until AEW made the bigger money offer. And that's what Phil is too. He wants the control and he wants the money.
He sounds like Kevin Nash.
Yeah. Guess what? At the end of the day, Phil's a wrestler. It's a dirty business. Phil's a business guy. It was all about money. It's all about control. And if Phil ain't happy, ain't nobody going to be happy. That's the legacy, man. Like, you know, he's cool. He's great on the mic, but he is more harmful than good, I think.
For me, the Phil legacy will simply be this. Phil's legacy is, if I don't get what I want, I don't want to be here. It's Phil's way or the highway. You know, woe is me. Why me? Why? It shouldn't be that way. You know, Jim said very clearly, multiple time champion, one of the few guys to defeat Cena multiple times for the title. The last good match of the Undertaker streak, maybe one of the last good matches Undertaker ever had at WrestleMania. And it wasn't good enough. But why wasn't it good enough? I was tired. I didn't want to do it anymore. But that's why we have fucking paid time off. That's why you have a roster as big as WWE did back then. So you could take time off. So you could go get married. So you could go do the things that you wanted to do. But guess what? The problem was, if you do that, then guess who isn't the center of a fucking tension? Phil from fucking Chicago. Can't sit here and play the fucking the boy who cried wolf. Because that's what you've done in WWE. That's what you're doing now in AEW. Poor pitiful me. Somebody said something to hurt my feelings. I'm going to be a man. Come talk to me about it. Right. Because when they did, what did you do? You hide behind things. You hide behind people. You hide behind doors. And the alleged talk that Kenny Omega was trying to protect your dog. And then your moron of a friend that you got a job decided to pull his hair and bite him like we were in the third fucking grade.
Right?
What the fuck are we doing?
Also, did anybody else notice the sign?
The Elite with the chomp
With
marks.
bite mark out of it?
Yes.
Did you see that, EJ?
Fantastic.
No, did not see that.
Let me see if I can find it while you guys are
There's
talking.
a sign that literally it said the Elite in the top corner. It's like a bite mark is out of it to play on words of Ace Steel biting Kenny Omega.
Okay.
But his legacy is he is no different than the wrestlers of the late 90s, the Kevin Nashes, the Scott Halls of the world. It's all about me. Me. I want creative control. I want the world title. I want days off. I don't want to be here. I want more money. I want to do this. I want to do that. take that legacy, dude. You know what you can do with it? You can shove it straight up your ass. There it is.
Right there.
So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
it is just so good. A
Mm.
freaking bite mark. I love wrestling fans.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
great. Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, if that's what you want your legacy to be, Phil, congratulations. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, you got it, dude.
But at this point, like I said, if you don't wrestle another match in your career, it'll be one match too soon for me.
Yeah, I'm good already. I'm good on the Punk thing at this point now in terms of like another match. That's fine with me.
He is. Here's the thing. He is Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan in like the 99 2000.
Yeah, Vince Russo.
I want to come in. I want to pick who I wrestle. I want to pick who I lose to. I don't want to wrestle every fucking show. I want the world title, but I don't want to be there. You know, at the end of the day, I want only Pepsi clear in my locker room. No dark Pepsi. You know, can I get peanut M&Ms, but only the green shelled ones, no other color. If there's any other colors, I'm not wrestling tonight. You know, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I think I have a staph infection in my elbow. Oh my God, I'm bleeding out of my head. Oh my God, I'm bleeding out of my asshole. I mean, anything that he could complain about in 2022 is what we've gone through. Yeah. And at the end of the day, like, you're not doing AEW any good. I would rather them put that money to use of re-signing Daniel Bryanson, re-signing Absolute Ricky Stark, giving more money to guys like Powerhouse Hobbs and
Amen to that.
The guys that are fucking sitting here night in and night out busting their ass. And here's the thing, Phil. You haven't had to work a goddamn house show yet. We don't do those in AEW. So you get to get out of bed, you get to get on an airplane, you get to go somewhere, and whenever you show up, you get to be on TV with millions of people watching you, and it's still not fucking good enough. Maybe you just shouldn't have came back. Because since you've come back, the desire for you to come back again has taken a drastic hit. We wanted you to come back a year ago. We felt like we needed the final CM Punk run that we never got in WWE because of the fucking staph infection, because of all the bullshit. So you've just sold us that bill of goods for the last, 4 or 5 years, Phil. You probably would have been better off if you didn't come back. AEW would probably be in a lot better shape, definitely financially. And hell, your best.
He's wrestled 22 matches in 1 year.
Seth Rollins has probably wrestled 22 matches in the last 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And we're literally sitting here complaining about what's wrong.
22. Okay. So AEW has 2 TV shows a week and 4 pay-per-views. So 2 TV shows a week in 52 weeks. We'll just go 1 calendar year, even though it's been a little less because of the injury. It's 104 TV shows plus 4 pay-per-views. That's 106 TV productions by AEW. That's not counting Battle of the Belts. That's not counting Worlds Collide or whatever the fuck they called it, Forbidden Door. And I get it. Punk was out for a couple months because he was hurt. But let's go around 100. Let's go between 100 and 110 TV shows that CM Punk has been under contract for. And he has wrestled 22 times. Sounds like and you're getting paid a lot of money. Sounds like a pretty easy day to me. What the fuck are you so mad about, bruh?
It's not about him.
He's not an unhappy guy. He's an unhappy guy.
Yeah.
It's personal. So
yeah.
Anyway, all right. Do you want to do Joe's topic, or you want to save next week?
Well, Sleeping Beauty snoring.
Okay.
We can curb that one. I think
okay. It's the rest of the week.
That'll work a week from now.
Okay, it's the rest of the week then. Who's first, Michael?
I am. because you didn't
Okay.
post last week.
Yay.
Each of us will get 3 this week since Joe is
Okay.
napping.
Sleepy.
So I'm gonna go with the girl that I picked as one of my favorite moments of the weekend. The fact that she was able to retain and gain the NXT United Kingdom Women's Champion. Give me the goddess Mandy Rose.
I like that.
Jim?
God, I'm glad you came to me next, so EJ didn't have a chance to steal mine. Give me the best match of the weekend. Give me
You're doing it.
the man who's on my top 5 matches of the year as of right now. Give me your reigning, defending Intercontinental Champion, Gunther.
The Gunther.
Big Gunt.
All right, give me again another victory. How many days now? 700 and what?
A whole fucking lot.
You already know I'm going. Roman.
That's a good pick, man. That's a good pick.
Okay.
I'm gonna go the new Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling Champion. Give me Daniel Garcia.
All right, I'm going to go with a guy who retained his AEW All Pacific Atlantic Ocean Championship and is 1/3 of the new Trios Champions Pac.
2-pack.
My guy.
2-pack.
I love Pac.
2-pack.
Pac's one of my top 5 guys in that company. I'm gonna go with someone actually who not only won the Inter Women's Championship on Sunday, but also won a match also too this week on the Dynamite as well. Give me Tony Storm. Get some love here, Tony Storm.
All right, my final pick. He unified the NXT UK and the NXT Paintball Championship. Give me everybody's favorite Muppet character. I will take Braun Beaker.
Beep 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 beep.
Give me the man who returned, the man who has a poker chip for a title, for a title opportunity. We thought he might be turning face, but he reminded us again that he is at least the greatest heel in his company. Definitely one of the best in all of wrestling. Give me MJF.
You fucking mark!
I just realized today's like probably the one show we haven't used that board a lot today.
We didn't. I don't think it didn't need it.
That's okay. A lot of serious talk here, you know. Not a lot of opportunities for this one to get on the list here. But actually, not a bad match. Like I said, better than I thought it would be. And one of a few times I probably get on a list. I give Liv Morgan. But decent match against Shayna Baszler on Saturday. Get some love here for the ladies.
All right, so that's the wrestlers of the week. I'm surprised we didn't get Carmelo Hayes on there after his match with the Dick.
I'm surprised one of you guys didn't pick that. Well, at least Mike didn't.
Thought about it.
I mean, Braun Breaker unifying a title, Mandy Rose unifying a title.
Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, no, I get it.
I mean, yeah, like I think it was just there was a lot. There was a lot to go around this week.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts if we get going?
Arthur Ashe, I'm predicting that it's going to be a Blackpool Combat Club finals. Give me Mox versus Brian. Hopefully we have more information on what happened with the brawl eventually leaking out. Putting out some 3-minute videos over there on the TikTok at Fat Kid FKC Wrestling, actually at FKC Wrestling.
Okay.
Doing some stuff over there. So if you're on the TikTok, follow me now.
Sure add you.
Watch some videos. Yeah, other than that, follow me on Twitter at They Call Me Burn. Follow the show at Take3 Wrestling. Again, guys, I appreciate the escape from reality that we have here. It's always fun hanging out with you guys. We're back in the saddle again. We've got a couple months left in the end of this year, and we're cruising for a bruising, boys. So it's clobbering time.
Speaking of Arthur Ashe, I think they officially changed the tag titles. Like they're to the Acclaimed. They probably should have at this last show, but I think
probably, yeah. I think with another month, I think they're gonna move to the Acclaim. You, yeah, I have nothing else to add. Always enjoy the time here. Another, this one definitely went a little heavier, but the rest.
Okay.
The wrestling world provided us that opportunity
Yes.
this week. Yeah, you can follow me at Big Jim Sports. You can make sure, obviously, if you're here, you enjoy wrestling podcasts, so check out 3 Count Thursday, 3CT, 3countthursday.com. We have 2 shows a week that come out. We have our live show on Thursday nights on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. That also hits the podcast feed. And then on Tuesday mornings, we have a podcast episode. That's not always wrestling related. There's a bit more wrestling discussion on next week's Tuesday pod. Spoiler alert. So check that out as well. Share that. And you can find our merchandise.
Although I gotta say that last Tuesday episode, you guys just did.
Dude,
fucking
I love
awesome.
the Tuesday show. We rebranded ourselves this year at WrestleMania time. From 3 Count Thursday, like just a wrestling podcast, to 3CT. So we do wrestling mostly on Thursdays. And then Tuesdays is kind of this free-for-all thing. And I fucking love it. It's reinvigorated the show. We've been doing it for eight plus years. So really having a fucking blast with it. So make sure you check that out. If you like sports, Huddle Up Podcast, we are through the first 3 episodes of the new season. We're in full swing now. I'm probably enjoying that as much as I have ever.
We're hysterical.
We're having a fucking blast over there. So make sure you check that out. At Huddle Up Podcast on Facebook and Twitter. You can get the link tree to get to our YouTube and everything Huddle Up related. And if you don't like sports, you don't like wrestling, you can get me on Discussions with a Nobody at DWAN Pod on Twitter, at Discussions with a Nobody on Facebook. Have a couple recording plans coming up. I know I'm doing one with this fucking toolbox over here. Next week I'll be coming out, and I might be getting an episode down this week. Excuse me, a discussion down this weekend.
There you go.
Just some current event-ish stuff, but yeah, subscribe over there.
Go ahead, Mike. Oh, you did it. You did. That's right. I did do it. That's right. Earnestly Podcast, of course, all podcast catchers. Lots of shows this week we did. Football's Alton's back. I just did a podcast actually this evening with my brother for the first time in 10 years. That was fun. Other than that, you check that out. Check out Earthquake Unfiltered. I'm going to start doing like little tidbits, little small 5-minute podcasts, maybe daily. We'll see how that goes if we got time for that. Other than that, I'm on Substack again, earnspeaking.substack.com, and Twitter, each person 7. Other than that, I think that's it, right? I think so. All right, so serious show. Hope we get more unserious next week. Fuckers.
Peace.